and we discussed about the agile, like pros and cons, like why is it useful, what is the bad side of it, and so on. We said agile in general is what type of process?
Fast.
Yeah, I mean, which model?
Iterative. Not waterfall.
It's iterative, excellent. Incremental iterative, perfect. Okay. And we said usually it's compared to the plan-driven model in terms of few aspects. So we need to ask ourselves these questions. Are we talking, let's say, about good specification and design document? Are we talking about incremental delivery? Are we talking about a big team size, or let's say a small team size? Are they experts or novice people? What work style they work as? Like, is it remotely? Is it like outsourcing? Is it on-site? And we also look into the system type. Is it real time? So it has to synchronize, and it has to be fast on delivery. What is the duration? So are you expecting this over 1 month, over 2 months, 1 year? Like, what is the exact duration? This can either request you to have very fast delivery, like in Agile, or simply slow one, like in waterfall and plan-driven ones. And external regulations, when we talk about, let's say, standards similar to ISO and others, which can actually put you in a frame of better documentation that are needed. Like we are doing so far in APIT, for example. So you heard of APIT, right? No? Okay, so APIT is actually an engineering program accreditation that's known internationally. We got it 5 years ago here at Al Faisal, and this year we're expecting a renewal. So the team actually visits in between the 5 years to see what kind of changes, based on their own feedback, apply to the program. So what happened to the courses, what happened to the faculty, everything. So they look and assess everything that we made. And let me tell you this from quality assurance perspective. What we do, we, for example, look into all submissions of faculty members across the entire year. So what kind of files, let's say, they submitted for every course, including the outline, the syllabus. We go for, let's say, student sample, grading criteria, projects, assignments, everything is assessed. And any tiny mistake is corrected usually. If we are to follow their regulation of APIT standard, we have to do this. Otherwise, they cannot really come and see nothing to assess. Yeah? So they will come and see these documents, and they will compare and contrast our progress since last time. So dealing with regulations usually, one very important factor in is having good documentation. So that's mostly what we covered last time, Agile, and comparing it to plan-driven model. Today we're covering more about pair programming. We'll take and see some case studies. We'll talk about the extreme programming concept, refactoring, and Scrum models. Right. We've seen so far iterative models and also plan-driven ones, right? We'll start with this case study here. So I need someone to read it, okay? Then we will analyze, we will highlight the keywords that can tell us what model we are to consider for this case. Who's going to start? Please.
A mid-sized city deployed an AI-powered traffic management system to optimize traffic light patterns and reduce congestion. During the initial rollout, unexpected events occurred. A major sporting event doubled traffic in certain districts, and a sudden road construction created unplanned detours.
Yeah.
Instead of following a release cycle, the deployment team adopted a process with practices like daily stand-ups, iterative increments, and continuous integration. This enabled them to quickly prioritize backlog items to address emergency routing, deploy real-time batches, and improve predictive models within days instead of months. Collect and respond to user feedback from drivers and city officials immediately. The city maintained smooth traffic flow, minimized accidents, and avoided public
Dissatisfaction.
disinfection.
Okay, perfect. All right. So this is now a system that's mostly traffic light management, system that uses AI. Based on given scenario or incident that happened, some changes were requested on this system. Now, which one you think is a good process to follow here? And why? So whoever can tell, you need to highlight. Why? Can I have you here?
No. Plan-driven.
Type, tell me, what keywords that told you this is, what's your decision?
Release cycle.
Hmm.
And
What's your decision about this one? What model?
plan-driven.
That's plan-driven, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Type, other suggestions? Yes, please.
Agile because it says increments.
You're saying agile. Okay. Any other? Okay. It is actually agile. Like, why agile?
Because they said they had stand-up meetings.
Where is that?
Yeah.
Stand-up meeting. Can you just highlight?
Wait, they said stand-ups.
Oh, sorry. Yes, perfect. So stand-up meetings. Excellent.
And they said increment.
Excellent. Very good. What else?
I think also because they had quickly and daily real-time patches.
Excellent.
Should I highlight
So
that?
quickly indicates agile,
Yeah.
right? We said this is fast delivery. Excellent. Highlight this word. What else?
And real-time patches.
Real-time patches. Excellent. Okay, what else? Last point. Collect and
Collect errors immediately.
user feedback. So I'll be back in a minute. Thank you. Well done. Excellent. So yes, we were talking about this case study here, and we agreed that it's going to be mostly agile for these highlighted words. So looking into stand-up meetings, looking into iterative increments, quickly, and the keyword, let's say real-time patches, collecting user feedback, these all indicate agile development. Yes? Well done, thank you. All right, now let's go for the second case study. Who's going to read this one? Yes, Lee, go ahead.
National Healthcare Record System. This
Yes.
project has stable and fully specified requirements agreed upon through legal and international healthcare standards. High need for formal documentation, legal approvals, and compliance audits.
Yes?
Strict regulatory requirements, compliance, medical record standards, long-term fixed-term contracts with multiple external vendors, regulatory approvals, required frozen specifications, and detailed documentation for development. The deployment environment was highly controlled and could not support continuous integration with development.
Excellent. What's your guess? Do we go with agile?
No.
Okay,
Fixed-term
perfect.
contracts.
So do we go with incremental in general?
Detailed documentation.
Very good. So let's highlight these words.
Down detailed documentation.
Where? Which line?
Before the last.
This one.
Yes.
Detailed documentation. Okay.
So fixed-term.
Standard.
Standard. Where is the standard? Okay.
Long fixed-term contracts.
Hold on. One by one.
High need for formal documentation.
High need for formal documentation.
Yes.
Good.
Long fixed-term contracts.
Fix it. Contracts. Good.
Waterfall.
Waterfall. Excellent. Thank you. So waterfall is one type of plan-driven models, right? You go phase by phase. Every phase need to be well structured. Yes, tell me, Dean.
Stable and fully specified.
Excellent. Very good. We said requirements are to be stable. Excellent. True. Giving you good hands now. So again, that's how we read our case studies, okay? We need to highlight these keywords, important for us to differentiate between one case study and the other. right? Okay.
But Dr. said in the waterfall, we don't do documentation.
In waterfall, we don't in incremental. No, waterfall has documentation. It's all about documentation.
But we don't refer back to the costing.
Yeah, for feedback.
Okay.
So the feedback is usually once when the product is released. Yes? But here it's telling you what? I have stable, fully specified requirements. So I don't need to get back to the customer for any updates, right? Once I'm done, once I do what you want, I show you. Yes? Especially, again, did you see this word? Regulations, standards. We said what? We need to stick by good documentation style. So this is important. Okay. Now let's go for how Agile is actually applied. So there is extreme programming approach. This is one. So to see the hierarchy now in a proper way, we go for incremental, or we call it iterative, whatever. Below it, we see Agile. Yes? And we said Agile usually goes for management, like how you are making this project in incremental fashion, right? But the only concern is on management. Agile, now we can split it into extreme programming concept, and the other one is Scrum. There are other methods as well. We'll see this later. But for now, this is going to be our main focus on these two. Okay? Okay, now let's look at this model here. So this is planning and feedback loops. So how do we read this? It's a big cycle, okay? And as you can see, it might be the case that you end with one phase, but you actually start from it once again. So here we suggest that at every stage, there is an entire loop, okay? We do everything in extreme fashion. That's what the name itself means. So when it's time for coding, we go for extreme coding. When it's time for negotiation, we go for extreme negotiation. Extreme stand-up meetings, so a lot, frequent. It happens on daily basis, multiple times a day. Acceptance tests, so we do double check with the end user multiple times. Okay, we can do it over multiple days. When we talk about days, we're talking about a range of 1 to 29 days. That's our range, before a month actually ends, right? Weeks, this can be 1 week up to, I don't know, 30, 40 weeks. We can't really tell. Months, this could be 1 month up to 6 months, 7 months, as needed. Yes? So stand-up meetings are usually on daily basis, and negotiations can be for hours. Unit testing could be minutes. So up to 1 hour you can go for unit testing for every component. And same for pair programming. We'll talk about this concept in more details in a while. But for now, let's understand this cycle, okay? So we got to see already, okay, what do we know? Acceptance test, we already discussed this one, yeah? Stand-up meetings, discussed. Pair negotiation, I think it's clear. So one-to-one conversation could be between the team members, let's say design team and implementation team, or between the team and the stakeholder. And again, this goes into one by one. You either convince me or I convince you. We have iteration plan, we have release plan. I think these are clear ones. And we have coding as well. So you can move from coding to release, to iteration, to acceptance, and then you repeat the cycle. Or you can go actually coding, pair programming, unit testing, pair negotiation, stand-up meetings. So it can go either down, up, or up, down. So what are the main points here? Let's have a look here first. All right, now starting from Agile in general, we will start using a keyword. Just keep this in mind. We have the word story. What is the story? So we have list of requirements, we agreed. And by end of every increment, we decide what kind of deliverable will be given to the user side. So this prioritized list of requirements that would be part of my increment is what we refer to as A story or list of stories, could be more than one, okay? Now we start breaking it down into smaller tasks. Once done, we plan the release. Then we develop, we integrate, we test. Then we release our software, and then we evaluate it and repeat the cycle over and over. Again, Agile is nothing but incremental. So we're still working with the, extreme programming is still incremental Agile model. So we keep on doing the same cycle in repetitive moves. Let's see this. So among all methods you will see for Agile, extreme programming is the most commonly used. What do we have here? So new versions are released several times per day. So again, we do code a lot of things in 1 minute, a lot of things in 1 hour, and same for end of every day. That's why we say Agile can actually make it possible for you to have a deliverable on daily basis, right? So you never stop coding. We have increments that are delivered to customers weekly, bi-weekly, in that range, yes? Full-time customer engagement with the team, as we mentioned before, they are part of the team. They can direct what stories are selected, and of course their feedback is involved. We said the main slogan here behind Agile is prioritizing people, not the process, yes? So we do this with the concept we know as paired programming. We'll talk about this now, okay? What is paired programming? What comes to your mind when you hear this word? Two people programming, excellent, well done. So we use this mostly to avoid long working hours. Now all tests must run successfully for this increment to be successful. So you can say we're ready for next increment. Now let's see how this paired programming works. Let's assume this scenario. We have two people in a car driving test. Someone drives and the other person is usually? He's usually navigator, right? He can tell you what to do. Okay, so among these two people, who's the expert?
The navigator.
It's the navigator. Perfect. But who does the job? The driver. Excellent. So we can say paired programming is usually done in one of three styles. One is known as unstructured, the other is driver, navigator mode. The third one is the ping pong mode, okay? What is the first one, unstructured? All right, so these two people, we call them expert to expert. So you have two people on your team, they are both excellent, okay? No matter who will do the coding, you trust that both can do it. So in that case, one person can work, okay? And the other person can be consulting, and they can also swap at any point of time, yes? So whether this person worked fully, or the other person, or they swapped, this is okay. We call this expert to expert mode. Clear? In the second mode, now this is the driver and navigator mode. So one is expert, the other is novice. But again, keep in mind, Agile keeps the priority for the people. So we also care for our team. So even if he is a novice person, very beginner, he's still given the chance to contribute. Yes? All right. Again, he doesn't work alone. So there should be someone next to him telling him, okay, do this, do that, fix this is wrong. Quality assurance. Okay? Simple. And the third style, which is most common, we call this ping pong. And I think you do it a lot of times, let's say, when it comes to your projects. Ping pong means what? You both work, yes? So here, we work in parallel. So we don't wait swaps, okay? Now this can help us. For example, if a task takes up to 8 hours, we can make it in 4 hours, right? So paired programming, when it comes to ping pong style, is the best and the most fast one. Clear?
Yeah. Okay. It can be for both experts and beginners.
Both could be either experts or beginners, yes, true. But most of the time, experts, both of them. But again, the style of implementation is different. So these two were also experts, but only one does it at a time. The other one is observer, right? Here, both of them work. So either they complete each other the work, or they can work on the same code. But someone, let's say, work for security, the other person works for AI algorithms, maybe. Okay? Okay. So now extreme programming in general is a concept that helps you define two things. Stories, which we know already now, right? So a story is prioritized, shortened list of, requirements pair, increment, right? Now, what is the spike? So spike is something that's uncertain. We're not sure about yet. It could be from the customer side with stakeholder, or it could be something from development team. We don't know how to start with it. So in general, stories are fed into acceptance testing, of course. So we need to double check, is that what the user wants? And at the same time, every story has its own release plan, yeah? And these estimates can help you figure out how to deal with the spikes, right? So a story can actually help sorting out any given spike. Make sense? And the final, of course, is the release. So once acceptance test is passing, we go for the last stage of release. What you see up here, we call this extreme programming board. So if you decide to go with the extreme programming style, this is how you need to proceed. You create a board, and this is actually real life practice. They go for a board and they split it in 3 sections. They say, okay, this is to do, this is in progress or doing, and there is the done stage. And they start putting some sticky notes. So what stories are done? Yes? What stories are still pending? What stories are to be planned for next release, for increment? Make sense? In the next session, we will have a real-life practice on this, okay? I'll be giving you a case study, and we will do this chart together, inshallah. I'll get back here, okay? So anyways, we want to do now the code refactoring. So what is refactoring? Anyone working with this concept before? What is the refactoring?
Is it like changing? Yeah.
Changing, okay.
Or deleting.
Okay, so while you are coding, we say that we need to optimize our code. Yeah? What does the word optimization mean? Make it better? Like what?
Modify.
Give examples. Updates? What do you mean updates?
Like to perform better, like maybe if like a customer says they're experiencing a certain problem, you go and fix it, or make the program easier for them to...
So refactoring is usually a stage after release, okay, or while development. They don't address real life requirements, but they are how things are implemented. That's mostly what reflects refactoring in concept. So what we have here is what? We have a code. Let's assume the case of pair programming where a novice person did the job. You don't expect it to be perfect, right? And by refactoring, it means we want to fix our code to make it scalable. So later on, with the spikes, we could actually change our code, yes? So for example, we make sure it's clean, readable, yes? So for example, when you work with coding, we don't add variables X, Y, Z, yeah? We try to make this meaningful, yeah? So this helps you actually refactor your code. Instead of putting a very lengthy piece of code, you can make it, let's say, an efficient, short way. It's the refactoring, yes? And instead of, for example, doing the job entirely inside the class, you can separate this into methods, yes? Setters, getters, all of these are simply refactoring ways. Okay. So this is how it goes. We have developers making any possible change, right? We call this a refactored code. This refactored code needs to run its own test to ensure it's quality one. And one of two things. Guys, questions? What's wrong? All good? Okay. So after running this test, you can either say that this test was passed or simply failed, right? If failed, we have to revert back to the refactoring stage and see what went wrong. Otherwise, if this passed and all was good, we simply decide on next refactoring. So how would we improve the code more?
Doctor, is this used for all plans?
All plans, but mostly for Agile, like they care a lot for it. It's part of the extreme programming concept. But yes, this can be applied everywhere. But mostly here, this is how changes are treated using extreme programming, which is part of Agile. Yes. Now this is just a sample showing you how refactoring can actually work. So in terms of reorganizing class hierarchy, for example, when you inherit, when you make sure components are reusable, renaming attributes and methods meaningfully for better understanding, replacing inline code, let's say, with separate methods. So this could be an example. This how could your code be before refactoring. And this could be the same code doing the same exact job, but after refactoring. See this? What do you notice here? What changes happened? Should I put it side by side?
Yeah.
Is that better? Yes?
The loops were wrong. They had to use the break, where the other one it was just more organized and more executions.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Yes, what else?
More detail.
Which one? Before or after?
After.
After more detail?
Before.
Is it after the first one?
This is before, this is after. So you're saying this is more detail? This one. Okay, makes sense. Okay. So again, these two are equivalent. Like when it comes to running, they are the same. They do the same exact job. But here, this is more efficient. Okay? So again, you care for how to shorten, how to make things more efficient, how to make sure your code is readable. Okay? I will explain to you Scrum, then it's on board, and then we will try comparing the Scrum to the extreme programming next time, inshallah. Okay, so here you might notice the change in our Scrum board. Here we have something known as backlog, something known as to do, and progress, evaluate, done. So previously it was only to do, done, done. So 3. From 3, now we're moving towards 5. What's backlog?
The backends of the program,
You're close.
the coding and like the program and initializing all of that.
So in extreme programming, we start with what?
The plan.
No.
Stories.
Stories. Who said?
Yeah.
Excellent. We start with a story. Collection of stories is what we refer to as backlog. So all related stories. We call it a backlog. Okay? You select what to do, what's in progress, what is done, what's to be evaluated from this list. Okay? Okay, so this is in general how Scrum works. Let me go here briefly and then I'll get back to this model. So Agile, again, this is one type of Agile methods. And by the way, there are 4 other types. And I'll be giving you tasks related to these 4, maybe in the assignment. Anyway, so we have here outline planning. This is one phase. Sprint cycle, closure phase. We have 3 in total. Okay, so the first one here generates the objectives and the architecture. The second one we call it sprint cycle. Now, in the extreme programming, we used to call it increments. Here, we will start calling it sprints. Okay, so Scrum, sprint, SS. Okay? So sprint cycle helps you develop this increment. So it's same exact concept, just different naming. Okay? And then we have the closure phase, where we simply document everything, including user manuals, lessons learned, and all. Lessons learned is very important document. We never talked about it in any previous model, if you noticed. Do you know what's lessons learned?
Correcting mistakes, maybe?
Documenting mistakes on any level, right? Things that happen on management level. on development level, design, in communication, in requirements gathering, any phase. So any mistake that happened and we managed to fix, this is part of our lessons learned. Why do we need it? For the future, exactly. So we learn for the future practice, exactly. So again, this is very nice addition to Scrum, honestly. So it helps you with better modeling for later projects. Let's start looking at this one here. So we start here with the input that's coming from teams, stakeholders, customers, users, everyone. You have this, you build what's called product backlog. We agreed this is everything that's prioritized. We put it in the right ranking. So which one comes first, which one comes next, okay? Once we have this big list of requirements, we start now selecting what to go, right? We agreed every cycle is going to choose few of these backlog activities and put it in a pipeline of a sprint, okay? So we start with planning this sprint, task breakout, so you need to know how to subdivide it, and you come up with sprint backlog. So for this single story, we will start subdividing it into subtasks. Every sprint duration usually goes between 1 week to 4 weeks maximum. So we never plan any story, let's say, to go beyond 1 month. This is our maximum. And what is the every 24-hour thing?
The updates.
We get to meet people, like we do with the Agile stand-up meetings. This is still there here in the Scrum. On daily basis, we discuss paring down and up charts, what went right, what went wrong, yes? And of course, there is a Scrum Master, like a manager. This person keeps a good eye on progress, what's happening, and so on. Okay, we managed to finish our sprint cycle. We came up with deliverable anyways. Now we need to review this sprint outcome and then take people's opinion. Okay? So again, this is a feedback cycle. Once done, again, we could repeat over and over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All good? All right, I think I'll stop it here today. For the case study and the in-class activity, we'll keep this inshallah next time. So I just want you to search for other types of agile methods that are applicable currently. And let me give you a hint. Okay, for example, do you see this list? So for example, Campum, we have extreme programming, we have scaled agile framework. See this? The entire list, Crystal, Lean, all of them. So I want you to read a lot about these other types, okay? And I'll be adding for you an activity to present one of these topics. Okay? So you can work on it as group-based, you can work on it as individuals, as you like. I'll be adding this on Moodle, inshallah. You can take your time till we're back, okay? From the break time.
The break is only Tuesday, right? The break is only Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes. Sunday we have the quiz. So no
Wednesday and
session.
Thursday, are they off?
I have no idea. Thursday?
Wednesday and Thursday.
No one knows. No one knows, honestly. Yes, I'll do it.
But don't you
Yes, please.
The quiz for all quizzes all starts at 4 p.m. CDX.
Yes. Yes.
Civic sphere or the civic sphere?
Female, this one. This is for males.
Meaning class for the MC.
لا نسيت.
Yes. No, it's female.
Mine.
Sure.
I'm sending it to all one. How do I send it? Because I sent it to her already.
Oh, you saw this first? They asked me for swap, that's why.
I was